Deep within a bleak and dismal era, hidden within the murky internet, lies the headquarters of the most sinister geeks of all time, a Legion on Zoom.
And welcome to the Hobby Shop episode 1, guys.
Yay!
Finally!
Editor's note. This episode takes place before the events of the Secret Crisis Wars of Infinite Rebirths. Before being known as the Legion on Zoom, they were known as the Hobby Shop. For more information, check out the Legion on Zoom Origins episode.
And here we are. Yeah, for everybody who, all of the 5 people that are probably ever going to listen to this shit, I'm Ches. Anybody else?
Rod. And full disclosure, I lean DC Comics, although I grew up with Marvel. I just want to make that clear because I think
That's a valid disclaimer, yeah. I mean, you have like a Batman exclusive background and shit.
some of my views may
Maybe biased.
not be I don't know, accepted by the large like Marvel fan base.
That's a good point. And I'm Miguel. Hi, everybody. And that's in terms of allegiances, I have to say I'm Marvel. But, you know, because I grew up with Marvel, that's like my main thing. That's like my religion right there. But I've gotten into DC, obviously, quite more over the years.
I've noticed that.
I'm not a big fan of the DC movies, but the DC books are solid.
All right, fair enough. And I didn't state my allegiance, but it is definitely DC. I've dabbled in some Marvel, kind of dig it. Nothing too crazy, but hopefully over time, you know, people grow. Let's see what happens. And for everybody who's listening, that was the introductions, and this is the Hobby Shop. We'll come up with an intro at some point later on, everybody. So, first things first, fucking Snyder Cut.
That's the biggest news so far. I mean, of 2020, I think. We've got nothing but bad news this year. Kobe,
Yeah, word.
North Korea, Corona, and now
Kobe, COVID, that rhymed.
just to, balance out the universe, we have the Snyder Cut, finally.
I don't know about that. I think that just points off like the 2020 just getting worse. Like we get,
Jesus
the
Christ.
pandemic, horrible things going on, race crimes getting just worse and
man.
worse. And now we're getting the Snyder Cut on top of that.
This is the remedy that society needs.
Hold on, wait, so let me get this straight. So on top of the pandemic, the crazy political polarization that's going on, all the racial tension, Miguel, what you're saying is that the Snyder Cut is making everything exponentially worse.
No, and it will make it worse. Have you noticed how much crime has gone up after the news came out about the Snyder Cut?
You think that there's a direct correlation between an uptick in crime and the news about the Snyder Cut?
Dare I say not just correlation. I think it might be causation. I think there's something more direct going on there. I don't know.
Rod,
Think about it.
what are your thoughts on this?
All right. So for the fans, we got a version of Justice League that was a gross departure from Zack Snyder's original vision, right? And there have been billboards in Times Square with fans clamoring for the release of the Snyder Cut.
Wait. Was that
Even Jason Momoa.
Was that fans? Was that actually fans that paid for that? I feel that was just Snyder. I think Snyder just paid for those billboards.
You think Snyder paid for the billboards to get his own Snyder Cut and then didn't fight it?
It was money well spent.
That's some crazy like Luthor shit, like fund the campaign, but then don't say anything publicly.
You never know.
You gotta respect that. You gotta respect that on
That's
the level.
true. That's true.
Before all this, we were having a conversation and Rod said some crazy shit. So Rod, he went on an endeavor, he can confirm himself, to watch the entire X-Men universe. The whole XU movies, every single one, except X3. And he happened to mention that X3 is actually better than Justice League. I think that's bullshit. I think, personally, that Justice League is way better than X3,
No.
infinitely better. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and I want to hear Rod's rationale on that, because that's insane.
All right, first I want to hear Miguel's thoughts on Justice League versus X3.
Damn, that's actually a really, really good question. Like you're putting, shit against shit. So what's the least shit?
Yeah.
That's rough. I actually hadn't thought about that, but I don't know. I actually going against my Marvel allegiances and siding with Chess, I do have to say, yeah, Justice League was better
Holy shit!
than X3.
That is a big moment. That's
I guess for me, it's more of an issue of departure from the original vision,
I mean,
right? I feel like X3, although it was not in line with 1 and 2, it still kind of had the same like flavor, almost. Even though Brett Ratner kind of did his own things there, but Justice League versus BVS Ultimate Edition is a completely dramatic shift in tone. It was like a cut and pasted endeavor. I didn't like it. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I mean, to be honest, like I think X3 was only the same, like aesthetically. It was a completely different movie than the first two. They only kept the same tone but switched everything out. And can we just, as I usually like to say, a moment of silence for those innocent workers that got punched by Colossus in full metal form? Those gentlemen died.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you want to go back and rewatch that part of the movie, I'm glad I'm finally getting to say this in a public forum. Those people were killed by Colossus.
Or at least seriously crippled. They can't walk. If they're not dead, they're close. They would rather be dead, I'm sure, because they're like
Yeah.
living in a vegetable.
Brain damage, all that.
Fair enough. Actually,
But Rod, but the thing is, like, no, Rod, you brought up a good point. But I think that's a separate question, because in your calculation of like how X3 is better than Justice League, you're taking into account though the history, right? The movie. So you're saying, but taking into account X1, X2, X3, and I'm assuming Man of Steel, BBS, and Justice League, with all that combination, X3 is better because it's more faithful to somewhat to the theme. With that I would agree. I would say actually based on that, I do think X3 would be better than Justice League because of that. Because all of Man of Steel, BVS, that's just shit. That's horrible. Those are horrible movies.
That's a little harsh.
And
To call Man of Steel a shit movie? Come on, man.
All right. I went too rough. Man of Steel's not that bad. Right? That's right.
I appreciate that.
But you're right. But well, I don't know. But then Justice League is just as crap as BBS. It's just like, I don't know.
Nah, no way.
It's better. It's actually better than BBS.
What, Justice League?
Mm-hmm.
You're insane, dude.
I don't think we can be friends
Bruce
anymore.
Bruce Wayne poured a quadruple scotch after fighting Superman in Justice League. That movie is not better than BVS. BVS at least had Batman being like Batman, like he moved, the fighting scene, but like he was cracking jokes, he was getting lit.
Right. No, I agree. The Batman was terrible in Justice League, worse than in BVS. And BVS had one of the best Batman fight scenes that we've ever seen. Like that, hands down, best fight scenes. But
it was almost out of the comic, almost this close.
Agreed. But he did have that whole Martha scene, and like, are you kidding me? And like the montage at the beginning with him floating out of the cave by bats as a child.
Was epic.
Horrible.
If I'm not mistaken, they also used that in the Nolan verse. You remember when he was knocked out, that he was kind of like, wasn't he like elevated by bats or some shit like that in the dream?
No, it was his dad. It was like his dad pulled him out.
No, yeah. But at first it looked like he was getting lifted by bats, and then it shifted and it was his dad, right, or some shit like that.
I don't know.
I remember.
No, you're right. But because he did it artistically well, like he
yeah,
had
exactly.
you think, and then it's like, oh no, that's stupid. It's my dad pulling me out.
Oh no, but this one it was literal.
But Snyder was like, no, it's actually happening, but like in a dream thing, whatever. Like, it's just dumb.
All right, so Justice League was so bad that some of us think that it may have been by design. In other words, a hit job. Chaz, elaborate on this, because the more I watch, like, the way Justice League just failed, the more I feel like there was some like devious hand in the background.
I honestly just want to thank you for bringing that up, for opening that whole Pandora's box. Like, put it like this: like, it just makes no sense if you connect all the dots it'll tell you who Pepe Sylvia is. For all that's always sunny in Philadelphia fans out there. That's like think about it. So the dude talking about Snyder, he had a family tragedy, which is understandable. Then he had to depart. Why would and it makes no sense because I also think that the executives at the WB had some incentive to make this movie tank because why would you bring in a director who's been almost exclusively doing the MCU movies to direct the movie for their biggest competitor? Even from a business standpoint, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, exactly. So you're thinking, but there's an incentive to make the movie tank. Elaborate. What was the incentive to lose money,
dude,
on this film?
We don't know how those crazy contracts work. Shit could be bugged out, man. There could be deals cut. You know what I mean? There could be fucking underwriters on contracts, all that crazy shit. But okay, I'll put it like this. How did those people see that fucking movie and got up and clapped? Because allegedly, what I remember in the articles, I don't remember if people read this shit, but it got a standing ovation in the pre-screening.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Yeah, see? That's insane. That movie was trash. That shit was a Whedon Hitjob. Even Snyder never saw it, allegedly. Even Snyder never saw it.
Now, of course, he wouldn't want to watch that train wreck.
Or do you think he saw it, saw how fucking bad it was, and then just started telling people, nah, I didn't see it?
Nah, it's like watching a video of your girlfriend fucking her ex or some shit. It must be terrible.
Damn.
Fuck. It must be terrible to see somebody take a huge shit on your vision of the DC universe.
It was like a video watching your girl bone her ex in her sober mind, straight up.
And behind your back too, because I'm sure they're telling him nah, baby, it's all good. I'm just gonna hang out. It's gonna be great. We're just gonna finish what we started, but it's all good. Don't worry, baby. And then boom, that's what he sees. Damn. All right. Might have been a hit job.
You see? Thank you for the I'm willing to theorize that if you look at the financial fucking charts, there was a bigger profit on all the MCU movies that came after Justice League because of how bad it was. That shit actually made fans went away from the DCEU.
But then who was the mastermind in this? Do you think so? Did DC hire Whedon to fuck it up or Hitjob or did Whedon try actually to do the best he could and then somebody sabotaged him and at the end switched it all up and forced them to no, make it trashier, make Bruce Wayne drink more?
To be honest, that's the part I don't want to speculate on because I don't want a red dot to just appear and just I'm good. There's certain things you just don't speak on, man. I don't want to delve too deep into that shit. But it was it's so crazy that okay, supposedly he just did some reshoots, but Snyder's saying, yo, that was 25% of my movie, which mind you, he allegedly never, no. I think he said that he was told by a close source that they only used about 25% of his shit. That's insane.
No.
Yeah, it was upwards of maybe 25, 30% of his stuff in the movie.
Of Snyder's.
Yeah, that made it into the movie. That's why we're getting about a $30 million investment and 60% of reshoots and a bunch of digital stuff. That's Rod. He's done this research for that shit.
That makes me wonder, has he seen it or not? How would he know that it's only been a quarter that was used?
I'm pretty sure he saw it recently. I mean, think about it. To start filming, he's had to see it as a point of reference, right?
Or maybe because I know he had a viewing in his home with Warner Brothers executives and Jim Lee was there and he showed it to them in his own little movie theater.
His version or
his version? This is recent, right? When it got what led it to getting greenlit.
Damn, you see, that's crazy. So that goes to show, was it the same executives?
I mean, I'm not sure who, but maybe it was them. They're holy shit, this is a whole new movie. The theatrical release of Justice League only had this much of it, whatever. But yeah, point being, we're getting at least 4 more hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I could not be happier.
I hope they make it into a docuseries, to be perfectly honest. That'd be freaking awesome, yo.
That's actually a good idea. I'd be down to see the docuseries. And I'm excited to see the Snyder Cut just just to enjoy how terrible it's going to be, and then talk about like how the hype and all this stuff about the Snyder Cut, releasing
hold
Snyder
on.
Cut, and be like, look, it was shit,
Hold on.
guys. It was
That's-
shit.
all right.
Like, what's worse?
All right, let me ask you.
That escalated very quickly.
You're a fan of HBO programming. I know you like Westworld, Game of Thrones. There's probably others that I don't know about. What makes you think
100%.
that this will be any different? Oh, Watchmen.
That shit was amazing.
What makes you think that HBO would greenlight something that's gonna suck?
On a new platform and invest $30 million.
Boom.
Damn.
Take that.
That's a damn.
Unless that shit was so good that they had a circle jerk in its private theater. That's not like, damn. So we're gonna admit that we were wrong, fund it again. You know what I mean? Like, for a company to admit that they were wrong, I think it's a different set of executives that are trying to.
Yeah, probably.
Now, okay, now that's like, first of all, Rod, just to show, obviously, I'm not like just completely like stuck in my ways. That's a good point. Because I hadn't factored that in. You're right. Because at this time, I've just been thinking about Snyder and then like the DC, movie producers and all that stuff. But like, you're right, HBO. I trust HBO. That's a good point. But then the real question is, especially if they're putting in $30 million into this movie, are we actually getting the Snyder Cut, or we're just gonna get a new movie? Like, we're actually gonna get, like, yeah, if you throw $30 million into any movie, you can definitely make it better. So I think there's going to be 3 films out there. There's going to be the original Snyder Cut, which was so bad that they begged Whedon to please try to make it better. And we got the somewhat better version, which was still shit. And so now we're going to get the new Snyder Cut second version by HBO. And so hopefully he'll listen to HBO executives, and then they'll make it not trash. Hopefully.
So basically what you're saying, like, it's like it can only possibly get worse.
No, it can possibly get better. It can only get better, for sure.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? Actually, it could go worse. I do think that Snyder's original vision is worse than what Whedon did. I do think that. But now with HBO involved, I do think it can get better, because obviously I do love all the characters, like, obviously, and I do think the actors were great for them. Like, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, they're fantastic. But with HBO, hopefully with those $30 million, can make it watchable.
Dude, and who knows? It could be so ambitious that, remember, Green Lantern was supposed to be in Justice League. HBO Max is also supposed to get an OA show. Right. So it could be like an Arrowverse, but on steroids.
Yeah, because they could have imagined the show. Because like you could watch like the Watchmen show as like 2 movies. How many episodes was that?
It was a few. It was like, I think, almost double digits, or like, but it was 10 or less.
No, the Watchmen show, yeah, it was like 10 episodes, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe they might take a similar approach with this Justice League and make it like a really cool mini series. Oh man,
that'd be wavy. That'd be insane.
I can't wait.
There's something that I wanted to bring up, and it's like a little, like, I don't know if it's like a good thing or a bad thing. In my opinion, it's actually a bad thing. I don't think that David Ayer should be riding the coattails of this whole release of Snyder Cut bullshit. His cut should stay buried. We should not see. There should not be a get the Ayer cut released. Fuck all that. No. Even though I am one of the few people, I did like Jared Leto Joker. I was a fan. I don't care what anybody says.
That's probably the worst part of Suicide Squad.
I think that you were the worst part of Suicide Squad.
I think he shot like a lot more Heath Ledger Joker scenes that were cut. So if there is in fact an Ayer cut, I'd be open to see.
Wait. Did you say that they were Heath Ledger cut scenes from David Ayer's Suicide Squad?
I'm sorry, Jared Leto.
Yo, I want to see that. I want to see the Heath Ledger Joker.
I want to see Heath Ledger. I want to see.
Damn, like, is it? I'm wondering, is it the dead body, like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of thing, where they're moving him around, or is this like a Tupac at Coachella, which is like
I was just
like 3D like hologram? Either way, I want this.
You can create Heath Ledger for $20 million. HBO, put a digital Heath Ledger Joker in Suicide Squad.
I'm sold. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But legit, I was the fan. I think he definitely should have gotten way more screen time, but I don't think that there should be a open the Ayer cut movement, or like release the Ayer cut. I don't believe that shit should stay absolutely buried. That movie sucked ass.
I think we can all agree on that. I think this is actually something we can
Yeah.
all right, good.
Yeah, fair enough. Look at it. Damn, that's crazy. That's how bad that movie was. It wasn't even up for discussion. Like, yeah, fuck that.
And I watched it 3 times, and I desperately wanted to enjoy it.
But you couldn't.
It has its moments, no? Like I will say the one good thing about the movie, they think Harley Quinn, like shit, like Margot Robbie is like, damn, like she is Harley Quinn. That's fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, she smacked that out of the park. I'm just anti DC's entire trying to make Harley Quinn like what Spider-Man is to Marvel, what her for DC. I'm not down for that.
What?
They could have picked a better character.
What do you mean Spider-Man?
I'm totally down.
Like you know how Spider-Man is like the mascot for Marvel? Yeah, they have, like their own Trinity. But you have Spider-Man as the mascot for Marvel. I feel like Warner Brothers was low-key trying to put just her in front of like the holy trinity of DC. You know what I mean? They were trying to push Harley Quinn more than Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, it seems like at one time.
All right, I think. Rod, can you elaborate on what you're saying?
I'm for it. I think the Harley Quinn series on DC Universe is the best show out right now. So if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Birds of Prey wasn't the best movie. It was better than Suicide Squad.
Agreed.
But I think, again, Margot Robbie did fantastic. So Batman versus Harley Quinn, done in that Bruce Timm style that was released, like, I think it was last year or something.
Right.
That was great. So I like it. Harley Quinn's a great character. She's marketable. She's hot. She's nuts. Like, what else do you need?
Yeah, like, I don't think she's like getting pushed like to be like the Spider-Man. No, I'm thinking she's getting pushed to be like Deadpool, like the Deadpool for DC, which I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I mean, but I thought that was the Joker, with like breaking the fourth wall and all that. I just think that like, and this is when I guess like a little holier than thou, I'm gonna call myself on it. There's better examples. There's like other female characters that they could have used just like to be like, I guess, a better example for young women. You know what I mean? Than a maniacal murdering, like obsessed over one guy who's who's clearly not good for her type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're really saying, because you're really worried about the impression she's having on young women's minds.
Believe it or not, that's actually why I'm anti Harley Quinn getting pushed so far ahead. They could have picked like a Black Canary, which brings me to a point I want to bring up. But yeah, they could have picked like a Black Canary. They could have picked the Zatanna, who's dressed with...
I feel like the market decides that. I think a lot of people like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Like, if she sells and DC sees a market for it, they're just gonna push her. Because I think if you try to market like Black Canary, I mean, they've put her out there. She's in Birds of Prey. She's in the Arrowverse. She's been in the cartoons.
Right.
I mean, all her, like, I think all the live action incarnations of Black Canary have been trash.
Yeah, did you see Birds of Prey?
No, but I'm assuming it was trash. I'm gonna claim ignorance and just assume it was trash.
That's an important iteration. It's the first live action film iteration. You got to see that.
Nah, the first live action iteration of Black Canary was in the Arrowverse, wasn't it?
No,
probably like Smallville.
Yeah.
Was it Black Canary in Smallville?
I'm willing to bet there was. I don't know.
I think so.
I think they were ambitious. I gotta rewatch Smallville, actually. That shit was pretty great.
Yeah, I just Googled it. There was a Dinah Lance in Smallville.
There was? Damn, why can't I remember? I cannot remember her at all.
Black.
All right. Also, unpopular opinion. I'm on some like slight obscure shit. I think that Green Arrow is better than Stephen Amell.
Oh.
Low key. Smallville.
Damn.
The Smallville Green Arrow was lit. People don't remember. He had the voice changer, the wavy glasses, the tiny hood.
All right, and that's it. The podcast is done. We've lost all potential listeners. Like, it's.
Let's never forget that one of the first actual iterations of the Justice League was on Smallville.
Word.
Right. That shit was lit. R.I.P. Cyborg. That actor passed away, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
And that actor that played Green Arrow on Smallville played Aquaman in a one-shot pilot that I never saw.
I think I saw part of that shit. I remember seeing him dressed in orange at one point, or I don't remember if it was in an image.
And then the guy that played Aquaman in Smallville went on to play Hawk.
Word. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
I saw him on Blue Mountain State. It was a funny ass show. I think they got canceled, but I actually got to check out Titans because of Hawk and Dove. Those characters need more exposure. That was pretty awesome.
Now that Titans is a whole other thing we can talk about for a whole another hour. Like Titans is I think Titan was because DC has been good with TVs for sure. Like much better than their movie universe. The TV universe, Arrowverse, be as cheesy as it must.
Yeah, that is
it
so
may be,
weird. That is so.
But it's good. But it's good. You know what you're getting. You're getting like campy style comic book shows, which is fine. But Titans, they were the first attempt at making it more gritty, more serious. Season 1, fantastic. Season 2, nope, not good.
Damn, not at all.
Yeah,
I gotta agree. And I feel like the DC Universe app is gonna be absorbed by HBO Max or something. Like a lot of those shows are gonna start airing there, because DC Universe doesn't have enough content to I don't know, to just stand on its own. They need more shows.
They have to get their shit together. Because look at Swamp Thing. We all saw it. We enjoyed it. Got canceled.
Yeah.
A bunch of shit. They have to get their shit together.
And that's a good point about with HBO Max. That's weird because I have HBO Max. I was just able to start checking it out. And on their DC section, they have a few CW shows, and they have like Doom Patrol, and they have all the pre-Nolan Batman movies there ready. And so it's like, what's going to be left on the DC Universe app other than comic books?
We're facing an oversaturation of streaming platforms because even HBO has to get their shit together. We got HBO Now, HBO Go, and HBO Max. And I've seen that explanations, and they make no sense.
I want more, though. I think we need more. Not enough.
You want HBO then, HBO Now, HBO was, HBO is.
HBO is. Yes, that's the one I want.
Is this a recording of you that you don't know where it's coming from?
Of you watching HBO.
HBO you. So just a quick question I want to ask you guys. I've been out of the comic game for a little bit as far as actual reading. I've been into it as OD in the other mediums, gaming, watching shit. What are you guys reading right now?
Rod, what do you?
All right, so in terms of recent comics, the Tom King Batman as it comes out, as Miguel will agree, it's a really good, entertaining run on Batman with great art. I forget the artist's name, but that's always good. I think Batman books are generally always good. Like DC, they keep the quality control really high for that character, thankfully.
I mean, he's a moneymaker.
Yeah, so, and I revisited Earth 2 from the launch of the New 52, which is like a lukewarm reboot of an entire universe.
Yeah.
But after watching Apocalypse War and how well that was done,
that shit made me cry.
I just got into this whole reboot mode. So, I wanted to read Earth 2 just to keep on that trend of Elseworlds, the multiverse. I love that shit about DC. But yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Amigo.
The main books I think that I'm reading, the current books that are popping up now that I highly, highly recommend are the new X-Men books. All the new X Universe books that Hickman has just taken over and changed the whole status quo that started with the summer with the whole House of X and Powers of 10 storylines, and now the Dawn of X books. Awesome. They're all great books. Those are the new books that I'm reading. And then just revisiting things in the past. Yeah, obviously Batman too, for sure. Batman, like Rod said, just anything Batman right now is great. But I've been reading now the Image comic book by Rick Remender, the Black Science.
Yeah,
that's a really cool book. It's an action sci-fi suspense movie. I feel like that I'm just reading, and it's just action packed, all crazy sci-fi. And it there's no, at least I'm on volume 2 right now, and there's no it doesn't slow down one bit. It's just action the whole time. So it's been fun.
A book I regret not sticking to, Saga. I haven't read that in a while. Are you still up to date on that one?
No, because I'm behind one volume on Saga, but actually they've been on hiatus for a while. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know where you left off, but you might not be too far off actually. Because the last volume that I have came out I don't know, I want to say half a year ago, almost a year ago.
I thought about reading Saga, but I never pulled the trigger on that. You know what else I was
Oh,
reading?
do it.
That I have like all the volumes off of the Comixology app. That shit, what is it? Incredible, I think, or some shit like that. It
Invincible.
is like Invincible, I think. I have like all the volumes there. I just haven't jumped in.
Yeah. I read volumes 1 and 2 of that one.
And I also wanted to read Saga because I heard that shit was crazy. I'll check if I have it available on Comixology Unlimited. I finally have to get back to reading for weekly, like.
Yeah, Invincible is from Robert Kirkman of The Walking Dead fame. Remember that shit was everything? It was like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead.
Yo, do you guys think that guy's gonna come up with another ballpark hit, or he's good for life off of that Walking Dead?
Yo, he's caking it right now.
Yeah. Yo, he's good. He's good. He's gonna come up, I'm sure, with a new awesome. And I think he has a new book that came out not that long ago. I don't know. I think it got good reviews. But he's good. Like, he's done. Like, he's got that money now.
Damn, that's crazy, man. Like, nah, but will he ever match? I don't think so, because that shit became a phenomenon, yo. Like even we had like a few watch parties and shit.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I fell off on season 4. I feel like if I was in that world, like that's when I died. Like that's when like I don't know anything that happened like after that.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, you're basically you're a zombie after season 4. You're just a Walking Dead there.
Yeah. I'm out there in the world,
a walker. Yeah,
living my best zombie life.
Just looking for the Snyder cut, like
Which I've never understood. This one thing, like, I know people like to talk about how like a bunch of shit on that show doesn't make any sense. What I don't get is how come all the walkers stop like deteriorating after a while? Like those herds, how do they stay herds? They're in the south and they're in the sun. Wouldn't their tendons just like melt and shit, like the cartilage, like just fall apart?
But I feel like The Walking Dead did a good job at showing us degrees of zombification. Like you see a fresh zombie, like they just got bit, like, and then you see a zombie that just fall apart. Like I think they gave us a little bit of both.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is like, how are they able to retain like the walking stability no matter their condition? You get what I mean? Like they're perfectly balanced. That never got addressed.
What about the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead sprint zombies?
No.
They sprint.
Yo, bro, that movie did not continue because that caliber of like athleticism in zombies was not sustainable. That world ended.
I think we're gonna find out.
I haven't seen that movie. So you were saying this is possibly the only good Snyder film that's out there. I gotta check it out.
It's my favorite zombie movie. I've seen Return of the Living Dead.
It's the best zombie movie in my opinion. That shit is wild.
Yeah, it's the best one, and not just that, but I think he's gonna have a sequel on Netflix called Army of the Dead, and I'm hoping he directs at least the first episode. Before we get more Snyder in 2021.
I don't know if you've ever seen Dawn of the Dead, but like, dude, the zombies in that movie, they're the only movie I've ever seen zombies run at full gallop. And this was 48 days later. I'm talking like when they became zombies, they became like Olympic track. Imagine Usain Bolt with like not getting tired.
And they wouldn't run before, like exactly like regular human person. They're like, oh no, I can't run, my back.
Yeah. They'd be regular people. Once it gets zombified, they're just ravaging. Like it was insane. It's one of the best zombie movies of all time. And like I said, that Earth ended.
I'm actually considering a Snyder like universe rewatch. So I want to start with Dawn of the Dead, watch 300. Watch a Sucker Punch, which I never saw, which got lukewarm reviews, so I avoided it because I wasn't a believer at the time. And of Watchmen, what else? Then Man of Steel, which I just saw, so I don't have to watch that again. But like so many good films. Like at the very least, what he did with Watchmen and 300 is comic properties. I think he did those things justice.
Oh my God! No, let's not. Come on. We've been talking about this for an hour. Wait, no,
Watchmen was good.
We can't end on a bad note. Come on, guys. I'll say, like, I'll agree. 300, I loved it. 300 was fun, and it was comic book like gore, like beauty, like I don't know. It was just like insane. Like I'm just reading a comic book come to life. But Watchmen, it's an insult to what he did to the book. Like, damn. It's just, it's horrible.
Damn.
That's when it started for me. Because with 300, I was like, all right, cool, all right, I kind of like your style. I mean, you know, don't love it, but it's fine. Like, oh, you're doing Watchmen? Sure, let's check it out. And then I see this, and I'm like, what the fuck was this?
So what you're saying is, per your reasoning, every time a Snyder movie drops, the world becomes worse.
You know, yeah, I think so, exactly. Like
That's deep.
Since 300 probably came out, you got to see how the world's gotten worse ever since.
The crazy part is that
After rewatching,
if you would like input stats into Excel with the correlations of the movie releases, it would develop a chart.
society improved. The only weak point of Watchmen, in my opinion, was the Silk Spectre. That was a really underwhelming performance. But everybody else, the comedian, that gorgeous Adrian Veidt, Rorschach was awesome. He was like, he invoked, you know, the ultimate anti-hero there. He was like dark and all fucked up and shit.
And a hardcore ginger.
Yeah, the alpha ginger.
Yes.
And then we got to see the most gorgeous, illuminating blue penis that you'll ever see in cinema. Thanks to Zack Snyder.
Facts.
I can't argue with most of those comments. That's true. That's true. So that glorious blue glowing penis. That's actually, that wasn't bad. But I will say, but the problem with that though, I do feel with the movie was like he made them too comic booky. And they're not like that in the book. The whole book, the point of the book is kind of making it up.
Was to be realistic.
Into making kind of like almost fun at like the comic book genre and how ridiculous it was and just really going into that. And Snyder was like, whatever.
I agree with that.
So that's ironic irony. That's crazy. Wait, so that's ironic irony. So it's like the comic was trying to be realistic, but then he made the comic book movie to fuck, that's crazy. I'm not fucking with you. That's insane.
And just to tie up the discussion about comic books, which is how we got here. The Doomsday Clock is a really good book as well.
I gotta get into that.
It's like Jeff Johns, who is one of the best writers that I've ever read, like in comics. He really meshes those two universes well. Like I don't think, granted, like the Watchmen universe might suffer a little bit by being introduced into the DC universe, but he manages to control that and deliver like a really cool story. So I recommend that too.
We'll definitely check out. So
I definitely recommend it, and actually we should then, maybe if not now, some other time we should talk about that, because I don't think we've talked, Rod, about like what the implications of the book were and how was it like. But it was a good book. Yeah, I loved it. The art was amazing too. Like who was the artist?
Man.
For which one? Wait, for
Frank Whiteley.
No,
not Frank.
For
Whiteley.
Doomsday Clock?
It's Gary Frank. Gary Frank.
Yeah, for Doomsday Clock.
Sorry.
The covers for that shit was pretty sick. I also gotta check if I got that shit on comics.
Yeah, he did a Batman Year One with Jeff Johns as well.
Oh, I'll check that out.
I wanted to try and introduce one small weekly segment that we could just maybe do like a sign off on. It'll be anybody could bring up the topics, but it's essentially who's more epic comparison where we compare heroes or villains that happen to be super similar. For the first time, and we could talk about it for a few minutes and end that up. Who's more epic and why? Hawkeye or Green Arrow? Who wants up first?
Good question. I think I'll take a stab. Who's more epic, Hawkeye or Green Arrow? I would have to say, because I haven't read, I might not be the best judge because I haven't read really the Arrow books that much. All I know about Arrow is the version from Stephen Amell, which is basically Batman. Like he's Batman in that, and comparing that Hawkeye compared with the one we got in the MCU, I would say Arrow is more badass.
Why?
Than Hawkeye. What?
Why?
Why? I would say, well, because I don't know, because he's like Batman. The one in the book in the Arrowverse, he's like a Batman type character. No, like he's gone through all this crazy stuff and like lost family and like got epic training and came back and like avenging his city. And like Hawkeye in the movies, he's cool, he's great and all, but like what? All right, so he was a spy. All right, cool. So he like Black Widow's more badass than him, and like all right, he's cool. He's got really good with the arrows, and he's good, but come on.
All right, so you go Amell Green Arrow.
Yes.
All right, what about you, Rod?
Wait, is this
It could be any iteration, either or.
is this Renner Hawkeye? Is it versus? Like, are they fighting each other?
No, it's just that. Who do you think is more epic overall, like as a
Who's
character?
more epic?
Yeah.
All right, so before Endgame, I would have easily answered Stephen Amell because Hawkeye, though he had cool appearances, he was in Thor, the first Thor, Age of Ultron, Avengers, all those movies. He didn't really get epic until the Ronin storyline, where his family vanishes and then he's just out there like killing Yakuza.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That was awesome.
That shit was blatant, hardcore violence. Like, damn.
And doesn't like Black Widow go and like save his soul? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so he definitely and the whole fight between him and Black Widow to sacrifice themselves for the stone.
Yeah.
So it's a tough argument, but Stephen Amell, based off of his, I feel like work ethic and his dedication, a universe was built, and they just had like a Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that he became the spoiler alert. Anybody who has not,
because mind you, I just started watching Flash Netflix, so spoiler alert in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, go ahead.
the character evolves. I won't give away a spoiler because I hate spoilers, but the character evolves, and he had a great run. He had a great run, like 9 seasons. I gotta give it to Stephen Amell. Arrow, narrowly though.
Fair enough.
And that's I agree. That was a really good point about Endgame. You're right. But I think just to make you feel more comfortable about your decision is like, because you did just ask about who's more badass, Hawkeye or Arrow, right?
Yeah.
Was Endgame, was that really Hawkeye or was that Ronin? Right?
Right.
So it's like Ronin's badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Hawkeye. Fair enough. I guess we could even make the argument he stopped being Hawkeye after the snap and stayed as Ronin dressed as Hawkeye. Like on some like his psyche was fractured, and I think like he's going forward, and he lost Black Widow on top of that. So
damn, his psyche was fractured.
Exactly. Yeah, that's crazy. So
man had trauma.
And I'm gonna go Amell to make it unanimous off of one simple thing. Amell did American Ninja Warrior. Just off of that. That's it.
He's a boss.
So apparently, Stephen Amell, Green Arrow is more epic than Jeremy Renner Hawkeye, and it's a fact in the universe because we agree to that, and no one else's opinions matters. Okay, awesome.
And if at any point this goes viral, we want to hear the opinion from the fans. So send us an email or post in the comment section if that is available.
Yeah, absolutely not one of those things is available yet, but it will be. So all that info we'll have within the first 2 to 3 episodes of the podcast. And on that, gentlemen, we can wrap it up. Thanks for coming to the Hobby Shop, everybody. I'm Ches.
All right. Peace, everybody. I'm Miguel.
I'm Rod. Deuces.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Legion on Zoom, starring and produced by Jose Perez, a.k.a. Ches, Rodney Martinez, and myself, Miguel Arce. Click subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review or comment or just troll us. We welcome it.